After a recap of the last episode, we get reintroduced to Wes, Gemma, and Marvelous. They explain who they are to the ninjas, they explain that the multiverse exists, and they explain that the dimension hopping they are doing is because Dr. K made a little device in Time Force's effort to make a safer dimensional hopping device. Boom already knows who all these guys are. Boom explains his situation to Wes, which he says that he can help him go back to his own timeline, but he needs the ninjas right now. So they move to a safer location, the Red Galleon, and we're reintroduced to Andros, as well as Heckle. The two explain that for the last few months that Ranger's been disappearing, and sadly, all signs point that Tommy's the one who's kidnapping them. Boom questions this, noting that Tommy would never do something like that. He's one of the most honorable Rangers that ever was. Marvelous notes that they don't want to believe this either, but the Rangers are disappearing and they have evidence that Tommy might be doing it, so they need the ninjas to stalk him out. Heckle notes that from personal experience, Rangers can sometimes be possessed by outside forces to do bad things, so this might be what's happening to Tommy. So the ninjas go to Tommy's house in the most stealthy way possible, in a jeep, and conveniently we see Tommy delivering another captured Ranger to his new lord, Draven. Tommy explains to Draven that Galaxy Warriors has been defeated and they will no longer be receiving Kudabots from Madame Odious, but Draven doesn't care because with all these captured Rangers, they have enough robot Rangers to satisfy the Master. The ninjas report their findings to the legendary Rangers. Wes notes with his dimensional portal, he can find the signature from which dimension Draven is going to find where the captured Rangers are. So they open the portal, and they decide that Boom, Coco, and Dan get to stay behind to protect the world in case something weird happens when they're gone. But unfortunately, Orangebot follows them in, and it's kind of unfortunate because he's loud, but they don't want to waste too much time, so they keep him whatever. So they're stealthing around, but then Orangebot accidentally alerts a bunch of Kudabots, and the groups get flanked by a bunch of them. But then they're saved by Tommy. Oh no! But then Tommy reveals that he's actually the real one, and the one who's been kidnapping veteran Rangers is a fake. The robot Tommy, or Tomatom, and Draven are trying to build a robot clone army of Rangers. He managed to escape Draven's castle, but not before Draven was able to copy at least one clone from him. Due to Tommy being an emissary of the Morphing Masters, he has a little bit of connection to the Morphing Grid to let him morph, but not enough to escape into the Morphing Grid, so he's been trapped out here. And Tomatom has the real Master Morpher. The groups do trust this Tommy, and they find Draven's palace. Basically, the plan is because Draven already knows they're there due to the Kudabots earlier, the veteran Rangers are going to assault the castle head-on as the ninjas sneak in, due to Draven being distracted fighting legendary Rangers. So the ninjas and Tommy sneak into the castle, there's some fighting. Brody, Preston, Sarah, and the legendary Rangers find the cloning chamber and free them. And I definitely added some more that weren't there in the original because I thought it would be cool. Seeing all these different Rangers interact. But then Automaton finds them, and he notes that despite them escaping right now, he'll just put them right back in their place. Real Tommy tells everyone to escape. They can come back for him later. He kisses Cat, and we get the extended epic fight between Tom and Automaton, where Tommy steals back the Master Morpher from Automaton, as the ninjas escape with the legendary Rangers in a crate. But then suddenly, it's like the multiverse shakes, as Draven fires an arrow, tearing a hole in reality. A defeated Automaton notes that Draven has some magical arrows gifted to him by Madame Odious. Today's the very rare occasion where several dimensions are currently aligned. Draven will be firing several arrows, destroying many dimensions. Automaton laughs as he blows up, as the Rangers are shot down. After a recap of Part 1, Brody realizes he landed far away from everyone else. So he ditches his code and goes to look for everyone else. He comes across Levi and Draven having a fight. He joins in, but Draven actually demorphs them. But the ninjas come and save their friends. And then the veteran Rangers show up. Both Orion and Calvin note how awesome this is, but Draven reveals the clone army of robots. Draven says they can't stand a chance. And then we get our epic anniversary morph between their current Rangers and the legendary Rangers. And it's super awesome, and we get the colored smoke in the back. All the theme songs play, everyone does the right poses, it's super cool. And then we get the epic fight between the robot clones, which will be greatly extended in this version. We see stuff like Levi and Antonio teaming up as the Gold Rangers. Levi going Lone Ranger mode, the Time Force Rangers teaming up again, Tommy going through all of his different forms and fighting alongside Trent for the first time in like a decade. All this is unique footage, especially with the Titanium Ranger being there. Marvelous and Orion go Legendary Ranger form, Shadow Ranger, and Mercury Ranger. Marvelous even goes Gold mode eventually. During this, Draven just ran away with the arrows and he tries to fire one, but the ninja stopped them. They hit him with a finisher, but that wasn't enough. So Marvelous summons the Red Galleon cannon and they load it with some new Ninja Steel Ranger keys and they hit Draven with a gold wave. Draven turns one of the arrows into a Gigantify arrow and grows himself big. He tries stepping on the Rangers, but Orangebot actually blocks this. And he gets really angry at Draven, and this causes him to morph into the Orange Saurus. He grows really big, and then the Ninja Steel Rangers form the Orange Saurus Shuriken Megazord. But Draven summons some Skelligators to distract him as he fires his third and final arrow into the multiverse. But Tommy summons the Falcon Zord to go get it. And he flies into dimensions to grab the arrow, and there's some suspense that maybe he won't return. But then he does, and it's like, yay! And then with the arrow, he tosses it into Draven, as the Ninja Steels hit him with a finisher, and he's defeated. Everyone safely returns to the Prime Dimension. Orion starts fangirling about all these legendary Rangers and these new Ninja Steel Rangers. Gemma's really glad to be with her brother again. And Wes tells Boom that he's ready to go back to the future with him. And everyone says their goodbyes to Boom, but...
Especially since I'm not leaving.
Boom actually kind of likes it in the past, and he wants to stay and help the Rangers. Plus, he's kind of liking the shop job he has now. So it's decided that Boom is staying in the past under the fake name of Mechanic. Just as they're all saying this, the Ninja Prism just flies past them and goes into space. Everyone's like, what? And Marvelous notes that it's a device of the Morphing Masters. It goes wherever it's needed the most. So it's not needed now. And Tommy notes, so is he. So he hugs everyone goodbye, and he tells them that he'll meet them again someday, but right now, he's needed elsewhere. He kisses Kat goodbye and enters the morphing grid. And everyone talks about how great Tommy is, and how he was the greatest of them all, and how he's the best legendary ranger there ever is, and would never do anything wrong, and there would never be any dimensions that would do bad like ever, and he's so cool, and...
My lord, the generals are ready. They simply await your command.
We will invade their worlds. We will tear down everything that might protect them. And then, when it's too late, when they're powerless and alone, they will realize the truth. They could have been gods.